Hi, may I ask for Kurt Cobain to come in and talk to us today, please?
Yes, ladies, I have been here. I was actually in the shower with Joanne. I'm embarrassing her now because I was wanting to talk to her more about my terms and conditions. And I set out my terms and conditions for this connection. Um, I, of course, get tapped into many times. I don't want to hang out with the channeler because it's just ugh, my words don't get shared properly, and my intent, and my tolerance for being misused in this manner is very. Uh, I'm impatient with this, so I'm very happy to be here for you ladies. But as I was already scoping out Joanne and realizing she was quite happy to work with my terms, I was pretty surprised that she was saying the responses that was agreeable for me, because many people still have this stupid mindset of there's a villain, and so the bad guy is always the bad guy, and we must hate that bad guy. And man, like, don't hate anyone, full stop. And I'm wanting to share my true story and my true information, and my true perspective from all aspects of my life. So I'm all yours, ladies. Ask away.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. I can remember moshing to your songs back when they first came out. Kind of a funny thing. So it's very interesting that I get to do this interview today.
Hmm.
Um, may I ask you some questions?
Go for it. I'm all yours.
Okay, my first question is going to be okay, thank you. My first question is going to be may I ask about the circumstances concerning your death? It has been portrayed to the public as a suicide, but there is a lot of evidence supporting foul play there.
Yes, well, any fan would know that I literally said, I do not have a gun. And so, therefore, why would I be able to kill myself? So, it is fun fact, I didn't kill myself. I had no intentions of departing. I had so many things to live for. Of course, that was my mindset at the time. Now, from this perspective, I understand that it was a life contract and it all was perfectly needing to be. This was a time. I don't want to say this was the generation's JFK, but it kind of was. And many people have had questionable deaths where you want to know more about. And so my life purpose was to come and experience life, but also be able to share profound messages and to be able to have such a dramatic exit that it would make people talk about it until this very day. So it's all very purposeful. So I can tell you about the meaning and the purpose of my departure, because it needed to happen exactly as it was. Um, the people that knew me and my fans knew that I was intolerant of bullshit, just like I kind of am now. But I am more patient, and and profoundly compassionate, and I truly was actually quite compassionate as a living being. But I needed to experience, and you all needed to experience what you did. So, as you know, death is not death in terms of that's that final chapter, nothing more to evolve or experience or expand from that. It's simply turning the page of my life, of my big, beautiful, big book of lives. So this was a surprise to me that this was going to happen on that day. My beloved had been doing some very interesting things to fight with my mind. And so I was really struggling with a lot of stuff, but uh, it wasn't great. It wasn't cool. And I was so focused on the pressure of having to perform and I felt like I was this performing monkey, and I needed, I kept experiencing these higher visions and these senses, some of the states, the altered states I was putting myself in. I had some profound connections, and I really couldn't talk about it to many people because it just sounded too fucking crazy. And so I just kept it to myself. And I experienced some definite alternative realities. And while I wanted to just say, meh, it was drugs, it was fine, that's what you do when you want to get high and trip out. But I actually really believed that there was more to it than just a delusional mindset. And I just kept getting higher perspectives. I was more connected to my higher self, shall we say now, than I was aware of. And so, from this point of view, the being that you're talking to now is that man, is that conscious mind, who is still here. And I haven't. Part of me has not fully crossed over, so I'm still hanging out as a ghost, shall you say, and being able to witness how my music is affecting people and helping them tap into the higher dimensions themselves. It is nonsensical, the words for some people's belief systems, but actually they're very purposeful. There is lots of questioning. You're having to be forced to question the meaning of every damn thing. And doesn't that help humanity when you stop and think and actually have to question? Because people are so used to having manufactured songs shoved up their throats, and then to blindly just trust that it's a cute, happy song, how fucking fantastic, I'm living in my joy, when you realize that you can't live in your joy when you are being manipulated and controlled. And so that was my sort of approach to humanity, was to be able to help people stop and question and think and consider other possibilities. I really, the humanity really needed big shifts and movement of the culture of music and the culture of and the current status of the conscious mind as a collective, because we had this next generation who was basically products of materialism gone crazy. And so the children who were the kids, shall we say, who were listening to my music and growing up with my music, they were products of an interesting culture, especially the kids in America and everywhere else, where materialism was more important than spiritual connection. And when religion had kind of really taken a huge step back from society, there was this lack of growth, and everything was getting so cookie cutter and manufactured. There needed to be big shifts in everything, and so that was part of my life purpose. It was to come in and shake shit up, and I did, and I loved it. But it was hard because I was an empath, and because I was feeling everything and seeing a lot of stuff that no person who likes drugs should fucking see. And so that is part of the struggle. The industry that I was trying to shake up and shift out was more corrupt than I ever could have fucking imagined. And it's still a big sellout now. And it is bastardizing something that is so pure and a gift for humanity. Music is a gift. The sounds of the music is medicine. The sound of music is so profound and so uplifting and so healing for your soul, for your body, for your mind. And so you can see why many would want to tap into that and corrupt it. And boy, is it corrupt.
Thank you for all that. You answered quite a few of my questions right there. Do you is it all right if I ask you to talk more about your beloved wife?
Yeah, it was a soul contract. We've had a few other lifetimes before. So this is why I don't want anyone to have issues with her. Get over yourselves. If I can see things from the bigger picture, so the fuck can you. She had to play the role of being able to do what she did. And so it was all divine contracts. And so there was a massive purpose to it. And so I don't want her name to be said here, even though I could say it, and I will say it soon, but you must give love to love. And this is so important. Stop having villains. Stop having people that you feel like you are totally allowed to hate. Because guess what? That is lowering your vibration. That's fucking you up, man. And that's actually impacting her as well. And so, stop it. She's my beloved. And if you respected me, you'd get over yourselves and understand there is a much spiritual perspective here. And it's all okay. I needed to have this experience, and so did she, and so did you. And so growing from it and accepting it, and stop being crybabies over something that happened to me, not you, see it from the bigger perspective. My tragedy is not for you to hold on to and have revenge over emotionally. And while you're at getting over yourselves and having hard feelings over someone that you've never gone to meet before and actually don't know the purpose of the bigger picture, start thinking about other things that are happening with the crimes against humanity, and apply the hard, tough love message I'm sending to you now. None of it is actually any of your fucking business. Those souls are there to be able to do their purpose, to grow from their experiences, and it has nothing to do with you. It is contracts, life contracts for those souls. And so those souls are here to help awaken humanity, not fucking get you depressed, not fucking getting you so addicted to listening to the horror stories that you can't even fucking think for yourselves again. Stop being controlled from one drama to another. Get over it. You're awake. Move on. Focus on your own fucking inner work. I say this with love. And just focus on the real shit. Humanity is some real shit right now. So stop hating, fucking start loving, and love yourself and feel the difference. Because when you're holding on to hating people you don't even have any fucking right to hate, or worried about people you have no right to worry about, can you see you're just wasting your time being distracted with the drama of it? Focus on your own family, focus on your own self, and see if you've got any more energy left to worry about other people.
Thank you so much for that. I think I really agree with a lot of what you just said. I think that's a beautiful message to pass along.
Well, couldn't go too far and say it's beautiful.
Is your beloved wife still alive?
Yes, she is. She's still living with all that she has had to live with. And so it is hard for her because she can feel the energy of the hate is eating her up. But this is, purposeful. This is needing to happen too. But, you have to forgive and love people unconditionally. So, there is no excuse for not loving love. And I want you to remind yourself of that every time you're starting to feel, Hitler, must hate him, get over yourself. Anyone that you feel like you must hate or have issues with, get over yourself. Because you haven't even been able to love yourself profoundly if you're still having to point and hate people who, had to serve for humanity. There's a purpose there. There is a great purpose there. And being able to just be able to see everything that they have done, all these villains, all these baddies, understand their roles in humanity and in spiritual, metaphysical purpose, and see what they had to show the world to wake up, to realize war never is going to win humanity's growth. War is manufactured, man. Whoever stops and thinks about the real purpose of war, it's frustrating because I'm not connected to my higher self in this conversation. It's more like subconscious. So I'm wanting to get angry again about it, and I want to share my feelings and thoughts because I couldn't share these with a general public. And while I had every fucking obnoxious interviewer and other fake celebrity in my face wanting to know what fucking pickles I like, I actually fucking had a thought, and I wanted to share my shit with the world. And yeah, I did, but I didn't go that next step. I didn't talk about the real belief systems that I had about the meanings of life to the extent that I really wanted to. I still was unsure myself. I still needed more guidance to be able to really figure out what the F was happening. And I'm not sorry about my language. I love being able to talk like this because it's about expression, and I want to express, and I'm not going to hold back just because your ears are going to be feeling like they're on fire with a few cuss words. So my apologies, but not really. I need to express. Now, you've come in here to connect with me today, and you're still listening to me with my potty mouth, and I still have so much to say.
Well, I have a bit of a potty mouth too, so I'm not going to hold it against you. I thank you so much for that answer. Can I ask you specifically about one of your songs, which is called Heart Shaped Box? And I just wondered if you could share a bit, especially about the video, because it's got a lot of really interesting symbolism in it.
Yeah, the video was directed by other people with visions of their own. You don't have much control when you sell your soul to the man. And so while I still try to keep my vision and my integrity with the messages that I wanted to share with the world, I was still holding back my own information that I wanted to really sing about. I was in a band. I wasn't just a one-man show. I had to, I got pressured into what I could and what I couldn't share. And so it wasn't like free for all. It was teamwork, and there was a lot of kickback, and especially because the stuff that I was wanting to really sort of share was more of my what I would sort of call altered states of mind. The more popular we got, it felt like the more we had to be manufactured. And so I just did not give a fuck at that point. And we were only being used to kind of freak out, freak out the population. And it was a surprise to the people who loved getting money for music and manipulating music, how popular we were. But it was divine intervention. We were supposed to really spark and make people question everything. And so that's truly what my message for my music and the purpose of my music was. It was to say, I can be, this is obnoxious, but I'm going to go with it. I can be rich and wear a cardigan and be like looking like I'm a homeless, stinky bum, and you're still going to fucking respect me. And I really wanted that for everyone, every true homeless person. I wanted everyone to see that person as a really special being that had a really cool approach to life and wanted to talk. Everyone wanted to fucking talk to me. No one really wanted to listen. And I couldn't even speak about the stuff I really wanted to talk about because, supposedly I'm not able to be seen as a human. As soon as you start getting famous and then pressurized to become those puppets, those monkeys, performing monkeys, it was challenging to really get my shit out properly. And of course, the more money and the more pressure, the more I enjoyed getting out of my mind and out of my body and stop caring about the pressures, stop caring about whether people fucking got my music or not, stop fucking caring what manufactured, not mind-numbing boring music was being compared to against mine. You can tell when music has soul. You can tell when it is alive and when it has passion and when there is something else, even if you don't even know the words, don't even understand what the hell the person's slurring. There is intent and integrity, and you can use your intuition to know whether a song is dead or whether a song is alive. And at some point, my songs were starting to be not so alive. The more I felt pressurized, the more I felt like I was being scrutinized and questioned time and time again. What the fuck does that mean? You tell me, what the fuck does it mean? I know what it means. I don't have to spoon feed that shit to you. And so it was a little bit of frustrations, because when my whole purpose was to make people question, I'm not there to answer you. I'm not there to entertain you. I'm there to have a fucking fun time with my friends, with a band, look like a homeless bum, and make money and try and be the best person I could be, at the same time as being responsible with challenges at home and challenges with family. You know, I'm just a basic, ordinary man, but everyone knew my shit.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think that's part of the price of being famous, unfortunately. The group Nirvana managed to produce 3 albums. Were you happy overall with all of the albums?
Well, just as I was saying before, is anyone ever happy being a monkey performing for the crowd? Ask a monkey at the zoo. When it throws shit at you, you'll get your answer. It is not inspiring. When I was not able to really get my real work out there, my real message that I thought, I totally nailed my life contract. It was done, dusted. I got an A star. You know, I plus that. I'm cool with that life. But when I was living that, I was feeling the pressure of, I've got millions of fucking ears listening. Should I use this for more? What can I say? What can I help? What can I, like, you know, because I was so empathic to what everyone was going through. You know, it was embarrassing that I was getting like ridiculous amounts of money to be a dick, you know, and just have fun. And it just got too serious, too controlled. My mates, my band members, they certainly drank the Kool-Aid, certainly wanted to be manufactured as fuck. And, you know, and that's cool. That was their purpose and their plan. But it was not giving me what you would say in your sessions, a joy. So no, I'm not that. I wanted so much to help humanity, but I didn't know how to fucking help myself. And so now looking back at that lifetime, I nailed it. It was exactly what it was supposed to be: questioning. So if you've ever questioned, success. I did it. You need to question everything. And humanity is still a little bit lazy because they just want the answers without having to think for themselves. So I say that with love.
Thank you very much for that. They do sometimes want easy answers. So many people have listened to and been, positively affected by your music over the years. And how does that make you feel looking back on your life?
I plussed it. You know, it was purposeful. While I didn't realize the exact life purpose, it is what it needed to be. And this has made a huge step forward in humanity. Even if someone hated the sounds, they were like, what the fuck was that all about? What does that mean? And so it again wins. Or if someone's catchy to the tune and they keep singing it, it means that they are comfortable being able to sing a song that is a mystery to them almost, but with not caring what they are saying and just sharing the songs and uplifting themselves. and being able to be cool with just, you know, grunge, punk rock, whatever, you know, like it's not about singing in a choir at church. It's about just expression and expression and expression. And if you're just doing a cover band of my song, just living for your best lives, even in front of a mirror with a hairbrush and just singing, you know, you're still singing and expressing yourself. And that is huge, to make sound when so many people have been told to shut the fuck up. Your sound does not make any difference. I don't want to hear your sound. How many times have you been told, I don't want to hear your sound? And that is like, most kids can't speak for themselves. They can't speak up. They can't do anything because the systems are holding them down. They're not allowed to be expressive. And while it may look like they're allowed to have all their freedom, it's still not. They're only allowed to express what the current system is saying is right. And if a child who's creative is so tapped in that they're talking about the purpose of the universe, and a teacher is like wanting to like control that narrative because that may sound a little bit too strange, you know, you're going to crush that kid. And so about expressing, speaking, making random words, it's all totally purposeful. So remove the block from your throat chakra, because so many people have them. So many people have said something with purity and integrity and with passion, an idea, a feeling, or a thought, and being just slapped down. And you only need to have it once before you feel the shame and the embarrassment, and then the locking the voice. And so, you know, it is about just expressing yourself and not caring the end result. And it's just being allowed to share nonsense words and a nonsense song because you just can. And that was another part of allowing people to share.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. It's a beautiful message for the children of today as well. May I ask you, did you have an imaginary friend when you were little? And if so, can you please tell us the significance of that?
Yeah, well, that was part of, yes, I did connect, but most kids can. But I just kept on feeding and connecting with him. Most children sense and feel their spiritual team close to them. And it's around the age of around 7 and 8 where that separation starts becoming bigger, because you are, the reason why that is occurring manyfold. The child needs more spiritual support and connections for many reasons, and it is for everyone. And everyone gets that sense of separation once the spiritual team steps back. And it's around 7 and 8, as I said. But I did not want to lose my connection, nor did I need to. I needed to have that belief that there was something more bigger than what we're aware of. The illusions of this world did not really make me, the illusions that were around in this world did not satisfy my belief systems of what actually was out there bigger. I just knew that there was something much more bigger. And it was, I guess you could say it was a spirit guide that was supporting me and helping me. And it was termed as a imaginary friend, but he wasn't imaginary. He was a support service, but it wasn't just one. I didn't know that it wasn't just one. It was many beings that were in my soul family that were coming and helping me at the time. Of course, when I started experimenting and dabbling with plant medicine, and not such plant medicine, but other things to put my mind into an altered state, I was able to connect more directly and more profoundly to the other dimensions, which was helpful for me to be able to release the pressure of what words can I say to heal the world? What words can I say to help the world? What can I do? The pressure was so tremendous, and so when I would escape my body and my mind, and be able to go into those other higher dimensions, it was a relief for me. I kept getting spiritual messages saying that I was doing everything I wasn't supposed to do anymore, and just be me. And I never felt like just being me was enough. I still saw so much like struggles and problems in the world. I still was the doofus thinking part of this was my responsibility to fucking feed the world, heal the world, fucking do a telethon, and it's just, you want to do so much when you've suddenly come from really nothing, and then suddenly you're pushed into a lot of privilege and a lot of connections. And that pressure of, well, the world's waiting for you, what else are you going to do next? Because music's not enough, apparently. You still have to be able to be a humanitarian. So there was a lot of pressure, and I was being pulled in every different way. But yeah, I did have an imaginary friend who was real. And so I want to say to all the other kids out there who are now growing up, who still want to hide and pretend, yeah, mum and dad made an imaginary friend, that's the label. They're not imaginary. They are your spiritual team. They are your soul family. They are connecting in and chatting to you and making sure you're okay, because life here is very dense and hard, and everyone needs support. And so, whatever format it's in, there is no such thing as imaginary friends, but there are definitely lots of things called real spiritual guides, guardian angels, if you will, whatever. I don't care what you need to label that shit. It is real and super helpful. But then sometimes it's not cool. And you get pressure from your family because they're so real to you, because they are real. Every other person thinks it's strange. So then you start realizing when you can and can't connect. And I was getting more and more times where I wasn't able to connect. And also, I disconnected myself with low vibrational things as well. So, it's all purposeful. I just want to say again, I A+ my life.
Thank you. Well, you sure did. And thank you very much for that answer. That was amazing. Um, can I ask you about that? If you were aware of the crimes against humanity?
Yep. Sure fucking was. And yeah, it's horrific. And it is, first of all, it just looks like fun drugs. First of all, it comes out like, this is a new drug, try it. It's an amazing high. And so you do want to try the new drugs because everyone else is doing, all the cool kids are doing it, right? Except it's not the cool kids doing it at all. It is peer pressure in the industry, and it's to keep you, it's that first step into being manufactured. It's that first step into being controlled and manipulated and serving for another agenda, which is then to basically remove your soul, and to be able to start producing dead fucking music. And, that's really what the problem was. We were found and so instantly popular because there was this massive need. And it wasn't just me, my band, and my songs that suddenly got the attention of the world. We were divinely supported. It wasn't a mistake. It was needed. It was so important for us to come in at the time we did. So that's what surprised a lot of people in the industry, because usually they like to manufacture their music, and popularity was very interesting. Not saying that there isn't other organic artists out there that were also consumed into that monster machine of the musical industry, but yeah, we were definitely very, very eager to please originally, but I was a little something just did not. I hate fucking sellouts, and I hate people who lie and try to sell me shit. And I just know that because I'm so intuitive, I can just know a sleazy. Oh, I just know people who have good integrity, and I wasn't able to really find people with good integrity. But I wanted to be a part of my band. I wanted to keep everyone working on their dreams. And I believe that if I kept on going, I somehow would some way be able to get the words or the music or something together to really profoundly help humanity. And while I felt like I didn't do that when I was during my life, now I realize I did. I did. But of course, you know, a lot of other beings are doing the same things in different areas. So I'm not a special unicorn, but I was still trying. I still had hopes that I would be able to get out and really reach and tell the people the truth. I did not see any rituals at all, but I just knew that the negativity and the agenda and this machine that was manufacturing pop stars and actors, and you know, we got into that scene quite quickly, and we were trying to be controlled quite quickly too. And so it's, you know, it is a monster bigger than a few people. And when you're in a band and you've got pressure from everyone, oh my gosh, it's amazing, aren't you doing so well, keep going, when everyone's telling you to keep going, do it, follow them, you know, you could be big, this could be amazing, you kind of get swept away with it, and the pressure of doing what you started when you are being used for something that you're so passionate about and so pure about, and you're being manipulated to be more manufactured. It is really challenging, and I still struggled with that because I felt like we should still have free license to do whatever fuck we want, and I still wanted to please myself as an artist and be able to get the messages out that I still knew I needed to get out. Without being edited and limited. And my band members were limiting me, my support people were limiting me, and the industry was limiting me. So it did get really frustrating. But of course, you know, now from this perspective, I understand everything that did happen was absolutely perfect. And it did help, it did shift the conscious minds of a huge generation. So, you know, and of course it wasn't just me, it was everyone that was part of that to help. So, you know, it was purposeful again, but it was very challenging to understand uh, really the drive and what was really going on behind that. Because when you have so much money, why would you need even more money? Why would you need to manipulate and control and cool music? Why would you have to sell the fucking world just to control people? It just did not make sense. It just did not make sense. And it just was the most ridiculous things. For greed, for money, you're selling out people's souls, stealing their souls to create music and then produce dead music. Like, it's ugh. I was so profoundly passionate with music and expression, and for it to be sabotaged in this way, and not just by my work, but many, many, many others, you know, there's a big problem going on there. And so that was another struggle, but it was purposeful. So A plus, that life I remember.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Are there any of your songs that you think that the listeners should maybe focus on the message that you were?
You're cutting out, ironically. The universe and the connection to us is not allowing you to express yourself. So I will answer what I believe your question was. Do I want people to focus on one of my songs or a few of my songs when the whole purpose of my songs was to question fucking everything? I will let you answer that question, because it's about the purpose and the intent to question everything. So when you finish questioning my songs and realize that you'll never find the answers that you need, and that is okay, because those were my songs for me to share and to make you question everything. So it is purposeful for you to then listen to other songs in question and then see other things in question, and never stop questioning and never assume you know anything. This is a huge, we see this as a huge step, a huge hiccup, and an accidental block that people are putting on themselves for not questioning the things they assume they already know. And so we keep asking, break everything down, rebuild everything that you assume you know, and see if there is anything now that is resonating with you and if there is anything that is not, because you are growing with the energies of the planet. You're so much more in tune now. And so some of you naturally have old belief systems that are still in you, that you're still applying your common sense, quotation marks, and your conscious mind solutions into. So when you know most systems are corrupt, if not all, why would you base any of your information from any of those systems? So it is about getting rid of all the systems, focusing on smaller things like your daily lives, and how are you able to connect to yourself? How are you able to connect to your imaginary best friend? Because having imaginary best friends are cool because they're real and they can help you do shit and they can support you and they can do amazing things when you acknowledge them, when you don't peer pressure yourself out of connecting with them, when you actually support them, because they're there for you. Everyone has imaginary friends. They're called your subconscious, your guides, your guardian angels, your archangels. The universe is there for you. So congratulations. You're all a big group of people now who have imaginary friends who are absolutely real. They're just in a different dimension. They're in a different body. They're in a different space and time. They're there. They're there. They're there. They're like been tapping on your shoulders, shall we say, for a long time now.
That's awesome. I know I sure do appreciate my team. I'm going to call them my team, not my imaginary friends. Can I ask what's next for you? Are you going to be going on to the new?
Am I going to be going on the new earth? It makes me amused that your expression is being limited by this technology. And I think this is a great opportunity for me to say how technology is not always your best friend, or a helpful a tool when it is easily manipulated and controlled and has many faults and flaws. And this is why connecting in person often is always the best solution, because you do not have to rely on archaic technology that you're all able to access now, when there is so much other better technology. And actually your own connections with your intuitiveness and your intuitive abilities is going to be your greatest joy that you get when you're on the new earth. So will I be assisting on the new earth? Well, I have been helping people be prepared for the new earth energetically, and connecting to people to keep them asking questions about everything. And so I've been persistent, and I will always be persistent, because I do have a great connection and passion for humanity. I came here because I did have a bigger soul capability, and I wanted to reach out. And everyone who felt my music and connected was because they were connected energetically to my bigger being. And so it was very purposeful that I took on that role, because I was very capable of holding on to all of that energy and to be able to support you energetically at the same time. So there was a lot going on there than just the random music that some people enjoyed or may not enjoyed. And again, that's not the purpose of making people question. They just needed to, they didn't need to like the work. They just needed to keep questioning everything. And so my statement to you was, I will not be physically going to the new earth because I have I'm not able to shift as you folk are, but I am able to lend my energy. And so if people wanted to call upon me, they could. And this is going to freak out quite a few beings who suddenly realize that you're able to connect with people more powerfully, and who are not even on the planet at that time. So this is going to be some massive surprises to some diehard fans who are going to experience my orb energy. And that's going to be fun, because then I'm going to be their imaginary friend, but in something else. So it's all purposeful. I like to play with words and I like to have fun, because life is fucking fun. So you should enjoy it and stop having a carrot up your ass and just enjoy it. And I'm just using all the swear words that this vehicle is allowing me to use now, because I'm pretty comfortable. I feel really happy that now I'm actually scanning and understanding that there are people here listening who get this, who understand me, who get this whole experience. And if I could have expressed this in my lifetime, I would have had more of a complete experience, because I would have been able to really feel and find myself. And part of my problem that I was struggling with was not truly feeling and finding myself, because I just knew that I was not being given the bigger picture. I just knew I wasn't being told and shown really the life purpose and plan and what everything was about. So ironically, what I was always trying to achieve in my physical body was achieving the state of nirvana. And it did sound like it's a religion, or it did sound like it was spiritual attainment. And ultimately I wanted everyone to go within and to question so much that they would gain spiritual access and to be able to evolve themselves in enlightenment and attain that. And so we were trying so many ways to be able to help humanity at that time. And my approach was one way, and it was a very helpful way. And many musicians in your own history have also had the same mission, to help, not necessarily question everything, but they had their own purpose. They had their own reasons why they needed to be influential to humanity at their time of their careers. And so it is all perfectly unfolding as it needs to be. While you're living your lives, you're not able to really step back and see the full totality of it and how it's all impacting and unflowing. But it is.
Earth with us. Thank you so much for that. I hope you can hear me now. I don't have any more questions, but I wondered if you had any final messages that you wanted to.
Man, I love this. It is so funny. Lexa's question why. This poor beautiful soul who has been listening to my music for so long can't even ask me basic questions. And I want to say, is it the man trying to control the situation, or is this just a basic technical technology issue? And we can say the higher beings now are here saying, once you get off this connection, it will resolve revert back to normal communications. This has been blocked for many reasons. Again, Kurt Cobain has got such a big energy force that he has still been limited to share his expression here. And so while he is firmly here and not going anywhere and will not allow the connection to be struggling, he wants his words to be firmly heard, even though he has a potty mouth. The poor Amy is struggling to get her expressions out because this is being manipulated. So I will say to Amy directly, when you listen to my music and when you were in those darker times, I was there supporting and nurturing your soul and making you question that there was something more. And I understand that when you're in the darkness and you're feeling like life is not true and there is something just not fucking right, it was the encouragement to make you start questioning everything. Why me? Why this? Why now? Why? And it actually did help you get the connections to your higher self to be able to give you those answers. Remember, when you use your free will to ask for help, when you use your free will to ask for guidance and information, you will get it. And you are so vulnerable and so open and so sad and so begging for your guides to be able to answer your questions. You actually were so open, you heard them. And it was beautiful. And you did exactly what you needed to do to save yourself, to be able to build yourself up, and to be able to start listening to your team who love you so much. And because you questioned, and because you challenged the systems, and you're just asking, you don't have to go and physically do anything. By asking questions, you will be so empowered, and you will change so much with simply your thoughts and your questioning. And this is what has been blocked from many. Just your thought processes, just your questionings, and removing all the assumptions you believe you already know is going to be such a huge mindset shift for humanity. This is part of the key. This is part of the solution of what you've been seeking for.
Thank you very much for that. Do you have any final words for us today?
I'm unsure whether I want to give a really mature approach or whether I want to be stupid and funny and not give a fuck. And I do care about humanity. And so I'm not going to be flippant with you. And I'm sorry for the people who felt disrespected with my language before. This is the more advanced soul now. And we all want humanity to be able to listen without judgment to these words. Because while they were entertainment with the swears and there was emotion there and passion, the content and the concepts and the information is very advanced and very important, and we would love everyone to apply it. So we added entertainment value into it, but it was very significant and it is very purposeful. And we thank all who have listened, and we thank all who will apply this information into their lives, because you do not need to have any resentment or any old belief systems that do not belong to you or do not need to be held for you. And so please revalue things and accept that there are much more advanced beings here helping you, and we are always here supporting you. Use your free will to ask and call on us, and we will be there for you. And we say this with much love.